Hi, good evening. It's me again, Felicia, this time around on the Better You, Better Mom. Today we have with me is Yannie Yong. Actually, she's a friend that I know many years ago, but somehow we didn't connect and until recently, and also maybe thankful, or should I be thankful for, because of the COVID, we reconnect each other again through Zoom because we saw each other's face on the same Zoom session. And I was like, okay, let's reconnect again. Yeah, so today I'm happy to have her on my Facebook Live. And okay, before that, just let me share my slides as well. Okay, as you can see, it's Better You, Better Mom series again. It's once a month, and I have today Yannie Yong. She's an entrepreneur and also a speaker. The topic she will be sharing today with us is, I think, very close to our hearts now. Also, building communications with your children, and more so for her, she has 4 beautiful daughters. I can't wait to hear from her. Okay, I myself, I'm actually also an author, speaker, and fulfillment coach. I suffered 2 miscarriages to eventually having my own rainbow baby. Of course, the journey wasn't easy, but that's where I realized what is it that I want at the end of the day. So now I want to share my story and also help empower ladies and mothers to be in their own journey. And also our guest today, she's none other than Yannie Yong. She is an entrepreneur, speaker, and coach. She helps women, business leaders, and startups to level up in their mindsets and skill sets, to build leadership legacies, to impact the next generations. She's also the founder of Rose of Sharon, a fashion retail chain that has recently won the Singapore Golden Brand Awards. Okay, without further ado, let's welcome Yannie.
Hello, everyone. Okay, good.
Hi, hello. Can just to come into describe some of your family background to the audience out there.
All right. Okay, good evening. So, thank you, Felicia, for the introduction, and it's really good to see you here. So, a bit of background. I'm actually a Ipoh girl, and I came to Singapore when I was 9.
Good to see you here. A bit of background. I'm actually a Ipoh girl. Okay, sorry.
So I've been here like more than 30 years now, and still Malaysian. So I have my family. There are 5 of us. So I have 2 older brothers, 1 sister, and a younger brother. So growing up, my parents were business entrepreneur, and my mom was a homemaker. So growing up, after dinner is a lot of talk about being in business. And so I lost my dad when I was 18, 19. Wow. So that was a bit of a challenging time because he was my mentor in business. So when he passed on, I think our family faced certain setbacks. Yep.
So having said so, growing up, how do you feel growing up to become the woman that you are today? Because as mentioned, you in a way you grew up without your father in the midst of your teenager's life.
I think maybe not. I think maybe like I was maybe 22 actually when I lost him. I mean, it was a bit blurred. I was in my uni. So growing up, I was considered my father's, in those days, because in Cantonese, the youngest, Lai Lui. So I was very close to him. And so when I grew up, not having a father figure actually did affect me. So there was a missing part of it, I feel.
How many siblings are there in the family? Because since we are the eldest.
So total 5. My youngest brother and I are about 11 years apart. Then the rest are like 1-2 years apart. Yeah.
So the eldest is what? Almost 14 years apart?
The eldest, 14 years apart.
But how does it affect you in terms of growing up? Because since like your eldest brother is definitely, does he act as a fatherly role in some sense for you? Or?
Okay, so very interestingly, when my father left, he left us a business to run. And at that time, the business was over in Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Singapore. So we took over the reins because he passed away from cancer. So we had about not much time to hand over actually. And so growing up is quite autonomous. He empowers us with encouragement, but he let us make it or break it. You just have to figure it out and get it going.
So what happened to the business?
So we took over the business. And then part of the business is in distribution and export. Then the fashion business was new, so it was a startup back in those days at 24. No, actually 93. Yeah. So we were a wholesaler since 93. So how many years is that? I said 30 years. Yeah. And so 97, we started our first retail chain. So now we're 24 years old for Rose of Sharon.
That's a very long history.
Yeah.
Growing up, because you were saying you lost your father, and because the age gap of your siblings are rather big as well. But how does it feel going up to be a woman that you are today? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel confident, or was it,
Okay, I think Rick just saying hello, Rick. Welcome to the show. Growing up, actually, I was thinking about this question you had. How was my childhood like, and how does it impact me?
Yes,
actually, when I was much younger, at age 6, my dad brought us the whole family around the world. So in those days, we took the plane to the US, to Canada, to Hong Kong. So it was about a 30-day trip. That left a big impact. Financially, we were doing really well. He used to be a tin miner. So we used to have you go to the tin mines, and you excavate tin. And so in this excavation, that's where your commodity is. But the tin mine actually crashed. And so that affected our income. But at that time, when he had that money, he bought property, and one of the property was in Singapore. So he paid, in those days, 1 ringgit is 1 Sing dollars. Yeah, so he bought a home in Singapore. So when the business went south, he brought us back we came to Singapore to study. So he started a new life and started the whole new business from tin mining. So the business, so we grew up actually since I was, 10, 9 in Singapore.
So does that makes you feel more readily to stand up for things, to be more independent, or how does it?
Okay, so having experienced financial setback as a kid, my parents are quite positive. If there's a Cantonese, my dad used to say, even if the sky fall down, you use it like a blanket, and then you wake up the next day. So with that kind of positive attitude, we cherish family relationships. And so the first thing he said, don't let money get in the way of your relationship. So he was big on having good relationships, and the children help one another. So that's very important. I remember growing up, one of the time when I knew how to drive, I passed my driving lessons. I drove from...
How old was that?
18. I drove from KL all the way to Singapore, and he was sleeping by my side, like literally sleeping.
First time driving?
First time driving. I just passed, and he went to sleep. I'm like...
he's very confident or full trust in you.
Yeah, he's definitely very confident, and it was manual, by the way.
Wow.
I know, right? And I drove all the way, he was sleeping. So it was things like that that he really gave us the bonus, and
maybe it was open.
Very hard. And then when I went to Australia to study, It was like a one-way ticket, and this is your allowance. There was no setup. I don't even have a lodging. I got to school. I went to the campus. I changed like $10 of coins, and I started looking for lodging. I used a payphone. Is there a room for rent? Yeah. And I only had one luggage, and I made my way into renting a room. Can you imagine?
Oh,
I know, right? I was like, what was I thinking? Why did I even do that for my kid now? I'd be like panicking. Maybe. No, cool as cucumber. He just
drop you there.
just let you be very cool. And my mom would be like, oh, I said, don't worry, she'll be fine. Like, okay, so that was it. That's how I grew up.
But I would say that means he has a very big influence and impact on you. And also, of course, he understands you very well lah, to know that, it's something that you can cope lah.
Actually, I mean, I think so. I mean, I believe so actually, as a dad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would look at it that even though he wasn't a Christian, he wasn't a Christian, but before he passed on, he became a Christian. But one of the things I felt that he was very embracing, to his children, and he was always there to like catch their fall. Like he'll just tell it's a go ahead. If anything, I'll take care of it. So they kind of give you the confidence, but not that we did anything crazy lah. But he was one person that empowered, and yeah.
So moving forward, subsequently, of course, you got married and also, having children. How does that role of being the wife and subsequently the mom affects you in that sense? Be it confidence level or were you like what you say as cucumber to manage the situation as, after all your 4 children?
Oh, okay. So because of the loss of my father, I felt responsible to take care of my younger brother. At that time, he was maybe 10, 11, P4, P5. So yeah, I felt very responsible. And how did it impact me is I don't know how to have fun. I forgot how to have fun for about 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was always like this striving mode or surviving mode to do better. Yeah, like I think kind of lost that I would say childhood, but you didn't get to do what you like to do. So I think my peers were 20s, getting their first job, they have holidays. For me, mentally, I didn't have that luxury. Mentally, it was just more of trying to make things work together, trying to hold it all in. And I think that pace was very pulsating. Up right to even when I lost my husband 5 years ago, and from 5 years ago to now, yeah, it was a very, very tight 24/7. And of late that I've learned to relax, put down my hair. I also find myself sometimes holding my breath because juggling too many things. So as a kid, from where I grew up in the environment where everything was handed to me on a silver platter, and in the late 20s when I had to fight for everything to be on the platter, I think I need to loosen a bit and have more fun with my kids. Yeah.
About 4, 4, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, 4 kids, right? Right? I don't know what I was thinking that. Yeah. I mean, I look back, they are quite fun. Okay. So because I was an entrepreneur, okay, it was quite strange. So you plan the date that you deliver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Serious?
I know, right? So yeah, so the guy was really good. He will be like, okay, you can deliver, you're ready. Okay, let's do it today or tomorrow. And I'm gonna have my lunch and I'll come back and deliver. And 1 week later, right, after the checkup, you prepare for the bills. month end the pay salary. There's week 2, you plan for the full month. Then week 3, you try to slim up as much as possible. Then you have your full month party, and then you start work.
Wow, super tight.
Super tight.
No time to rest.
No time to rest.
Oh gosh. But as in, do you manage to really recuperate, or in the sense even do your confinement, that clothing?
Okay, so confinement is 2 weeks, because at that time you come back, right, all bruised and
I was dealing with the first one, or
all four. So 2 weeks. Also the first time I got a helper. So 2 weeks we tingkat confinement food for 2 weeks. Then following 2 weeks, the helper will cook already.
And that was like how many years back?
2003.
Yeah, when the tingkat wasn't as popular, right, for confinement.
No.
Yeah. So way back then you already started.
Yeah, tingkat for 2 weeks, right? Then no confinement lady. Then after that you take over lah.
Wow, no confinement lady. And is any of your mom or his mom around?
No.
Wow. Oh, you very steady leh. You everything 包个料.
Yeah, got a helper.
But what was the rationale? As in, why didn't you get a confinement lady? Because what
got maid I don't need.
But yeah,
helper.
Additional other helps that you can, work with.
So the additional help was the tingkat confinement.
Wow. And you think you can manage, or rather you already managed lah.
I already managed, and then then the second one came the second year. Then I got a second helper. So 2 helpers, 2 helpers, 2 kids.
Okay, I think more manageable.
Then because 2 helper right? Then myself have make the third one easier.
Maximize, right?
Maximize ratio, yeah. The third one became like, she was a bit of a challenge, because she had a bit of developmental delay in her growing age.
That was also 1 year apart, or
2 years apart.
Okay.
And then so quite interesting, because she couldn't have teeth until she was like 18 months. So as a result, right, her jaw couldn't bite because no teeth, right? And so her speech was delayed. She only started talking at 3 years old. So we were like, is there something wrong with her? Because number 2 spoke at, 18 months. And by 20 months was toilet trained already, like under 2. I was like, so we thought, hey, if you give birth, it gets easier. No such thing. So third one was like a bit like, so the one I had to wait 5 years before I had number 4. Because a bit like scared.
But yet you still wanted number 4, or was it unplanned for?
Yeah, it was 36, ask myself, either you go for it or you don't. Yeah. So, yeah. And the behind number 3 was very cute. So okay lah, don't mind.
So I hope the number 4 was well deserved as well.
If you have babies for the funniest reason, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, mind you, they probably might be watching, right?
They know the story. I'm like, they all know. So
you gotten used to it.
Yeah. So number 1, you have it because you need a child, right? Number 2, you need a companion. Number 3 was like, should I go for it? Then you see 2 is not enough. It's okay lor. So 2 was very cute. Okay, why I say she was very cute? Because she would learn how to hold her bottle at 6 months. You give her the bottle at 9 p.m. She'll drink it. Then she goes to bed and she wakes up at 6 a.m.
Wow.
Right.
Like and then, go to work like that.
Go to work, right? And then at 10 months can walk. And then soon, right? And then play with the sister. Then at 16 months, 18 months, full sentence.
Yeah,
then 20 months, 20 months, no diaper. Wow. Like, my child quite cute, right? Just tell her one time can do already.
Yeah, easy.
One time instruction. Like, okay. Right? Maybe then the third one will be just as easy, So you just think, I don't know why I didn't think that, each child is different. At that time, very cute, right? So number 3 came. Number 3 was completely different.
Okay, at this point also, people who are watching on live, you can always ask us questions and you can get a free book as well. Yeah, as we continue, because so you have 4 daughters. The first and second, 1 year old, 1 year age gap, and then 2 years age gap, and finally the last one was 5 years of age gap, right? So moving forward, as you go through, was there any thought, or I mean, people will be asking you 4 goals. Was it because you were hoping for a boy, that's why you planned for the 4th one, or what was your thought?
So, as I said, I shared, right? I think the 高龄产妇, like either you have it by then or you don't lah. Yeah. So, and so number 3 was very cute lah by then. They were like, number 3 like odd number lah. Let's go for even number.
That's quite interesting.
I don't know. I was thinking. Trust me, I'm not sure whether you heard pregnancy gives you amnesia, memory losses. Every time after you deliver, you're like, what was I thinking? And then later on, you forget.
Then
serious.
Then do again, right?
You do it again, like, okay. After that, you're like, oh,
what was I thinking again?
Huh?
Yeah, and you did it like 4 times.
Yeah, 4 times.
So it wasn't for the sake to plan, or rather to try for a boy or whatsoever lah.
I mean, of course, it'd be nice to have a boy lah, right? Because you have 3 girls, right? But it was more of like, if I don't try, then the age will get bigger and bigger. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
so then moving forward, because as you have 4 goals, and then subsequently, I think because you lost your husband along the way, right? Also, so
yes.
being each child also being different and individual, how does that affects you in terms of communicating with them?
Having a spouse and no spouse, of course, different.
Yeah, of course.
So last time, you can pay you heard of the good cop, bad cop. That's one. Number 2, if you have a decision regarding the child, you have someone to discuss with. And then now you don't have someone to discuss with. And then if there's no such thing as good cop, bad cop, I feel like I'm the bad cop most of the time.
Mom is normally the good cop.
But no one to play the bad cop role ma.
So so because of that, half the time or most of the time the bad cop lah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the bad cop, even though I want to be the good cop.
So which one of them are closer to your husband actually? Or all of them are more closer?
Number 2. Yeah. Number 3 was a bit too young. Number 4 absolutely cannot remember anything.
Okay.
So 1 and 2, the 1 and 1, because I gave you number 1, the father a lot of expectation, right? So number 2 was a bit more, get the less heat lah. Yeah.
But then because since they are, I mean, probably you can describe what are the personality among the 4 and how does you cope around, because I mean, looking around and talking to people is already a quite tough thing, and now you have 4 of them with 4 different personality to work with. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe a bit of background, right? So the eldest now is 18, the youngest is 11. So they have they have very different growing style. So the first 3, when the dad was around, maybe the formative years, say 0 to 6 years old, the funnel is very tight. So by the time they were 3 years old, they know what is the do's and the don'ts. Okay, that means they are very clear boundaries. And as they were growing up, you loosen the bit of the boundaries. And when they grow older, they are more compliant. I would say compliant, more able to have self-discipline and control. Okay. But the youngest one, she was growing up in a very free nature, carefree. So rules don't apply very much.
And don't know the rules.
They don't know the rules. Other there were no rules. Then under the creative learning, it's okay, maybe not bad lah. Try the other method because you know how Singapore says, right? Oh, Singapore too rigid lah. Need to let loose. Do a bit more of the
go with the flow.
Go with the flow style. So number 4 is go with the flow. So then in school, now when she was like P2, P3, you try to rein in the go with the flow. Just imagine you let go, right? So wide, and then now you try to tighten it versus you tighten and then you let go, very different. So the discipline.
How does, so you tried different method. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we were to do it again, or how would you have done it differently? Or
go with the first version.
It's still the best version.
Yeah, funnel, tighter beginning. Then later on let go.
But now, what is done, right? You cannot unwind the situation.
Yeah, but now cannot now 11-year-old, the one is full hair. Yeah, difficult.
But how does that help? I mean, you have to work with it already. So how does it help along, being your work and as an entrepreneur, even to work with the challenges and likewise your 4 goals at home?
Okay, so I think I just share the audience, right? The ABCD rule. Okay, so A, you have to be active listeners to them. So what I mean by active listeners is when you're with them, you put out your phone, you listen to them. Whatever they say, just listen. Don't give advice, don't say anything, just listen. Until they finish talking, then just say, okay, is there anything I can specifically help? Offer to help. If they don't say nothing, then say no, okay, that's it. So B is to build consistency, which means be consistent, build consistent meal times or build events together, build relationships, just build. So how can you build? So you need to understand whether your child is visual learner, kinesthetic or auditorial. So if they're visual people, then maybe you can watch a movie with them. If they're kinesthetic, maybe you go for a walk with them. If they're auditorial learners, then you talk.
So how do you find out? The question is
whether they are visual.
Visual.
Your kid, how will you not know?
Some people don't know what they.
Like you ask, did you want to watch movie? You go for a movie, take a walk, right? Or you want to talk?
Okay, very good. So go for a movie. Go for movies.
That's visual lah.
Take a walk.
That's kinesthetic.
Go for a walk.
Auditory is talk.
Okay.
So have dessert. Let's talk.
So each of them choose different one.
Yeah, different.
Then how to manage your time with 4 like 1 hour each, also 4 hours already.
Of course, you have primary and dominant one, and then secondary lah. Right. So, they choose
Right.
Maybe I want dessert. That is like kinesthetic auditorial because eating and like listening. Then I want to watch a movie. Then given that the one no need to talk or I want to go shopping, so there's visual and kinesthetic at the same time. So you choose activity according to the age, right? So it's a one-on-one bonding, or 1-on-4 bonding, or the middle set. Okay, for me it's 1, 2, 1, or 3 and 1, or 2 and 2, or 1-on-1. Yeah.
So there's always the different combinations at times, right? I suppose because they might not go for the same activity each time as well, right? Or is it always the same?
We try to, I mean, they're favorites lah, right? But we try not to, because it's heightened alert, things also change.
True.
So now it's maybe a lot more meals at home, either cooking meals or specific cuisines. So that they get to choose, be it Korean, Japanese, Mexican, Western. So to build communication, it's just not verbal. I tell you like that. No, there's no such thing as tell already. You need to show them. In fact, listen more, talk less. I forgot, right? So A, I said active listening. B is build activity, right?
Build consistency.
Build consistency, right?
And C,
right. C, of course, is care lah. Care for them in the way they want to be cared for. Some like hugs, some don't like hugs, right? So some like service, send them to school. The five gifts are how you care for them, how they receive their love language. And the D is the ultimate one. Everybody can agree.
Which is what?
Don't nag.
OMG. Don't nag. Wow, like, okay, like, very difficult, right?
Very difficult.
I also think I try not to, but having said so, challenging lah. Yeah, true. But now he's still not at the age to tell me not to nag. So he still don't know yet. Interesting, because of the ABC rule. Okay, so how does doing this ABC helps better in terms of communicating with the 4 children?
At least they have your attention, and vice versa, that they can share anything in confidence. They can come to me. So I used to be a tiger mom, right? All the conversation is, have you done your homework? Now it's like, I mean, I don't talk about homework. I just say, is everything okay in school? Let me know if you need help. A bit more empowering. And definitely we want to bring the conversation to a higher level. Yeah. So okay, not in the way whereby it's out of scope. Maybe it's like, how's the teacher facilitating? Okay, what are your views on certain topics? Just let them talk. Just listen to them. Or how's your friend coping? Yeah, just very general lifestyle topics.
So, but it's like very challenging, like, we are the mom. So when you hear something that you cannot take it, you tend to like must chip in, share my opinions. So
then you ask for permission.
Oh, it's really a different ball game now. Right? Imagine our era back then, you got to ask for permission.
I mean, you haven't need no unsolicited advice, ma. Right?
Okay, but is it helpful? As in, what if they say no? I don't need your advice or I don't need opinions, but you want to share.
If I really want to share, okay, okay, let me try to think an advice that that I feel that they need to know, and so I'll just say that as a mom, I feel it's my responsibility to share this with you. Full stop first, right? Then see whether they got any reaction, right? So then normally I'd say, okay, I would like to share on these 3 specific areas, and they got whatever number, just name it so that you frame it, you don't know how long you're gonna nag at, right? If any.
Must frame first, okay?
Yeah. So then so you just frame it as like, No, tak, tak, tak. It's just like, you know, you talk to your boss or your boss talk to you. You don't to know what's happening, right? Am I gonna get in trouble or something, right? So then, so yeah, so thank you for taking time to, you know, just appreciate the time, So I will check back in with you, something like that. Assuming if it's like really serious, it's not just you just leave it, and then you come back. Okay, the other day we had spoke. Any updates?
Very formal.
I know, right?
Yeah, but even it applies even for the youngest one.
Oh, the one a different ball game. That one you have to like that one is doesn't work that way. She already have a mind of her own. So the one had to have reverse engineering to keep asking her questions. So she just give you an example. She has glasses and she puts it everywhere. And obviously the glass can break, right? So twice I had to replace the nose bridge of the glasses. I'm not sure that it was wear and tear or because it was mishandling. So just today I found her glasses on the sofa, which someone can sit on it and break it.
Yes.
And the other day I saw it on the floor. I just called her, Emma. I found your glasses on the sofa. Sorry. And the other day I found it on the floor. Sorry. And then I said, okay, what are you gonna do about it? Okay, I'm gonna put a table. I said, what happens if it happens again? What is your consequences? I don't know. I said, okay, what's your consequences? And then I said, she couldn't think of any. And I said, okay, how about you buy me an apple if I find it? Then she's like, how much an apple? I said, 80 cents. 80 cents. Can I buy you bubble tea? I said, no, I'm on a weight program. Okay, so can I buy bubble tea? Not something from 7-Eleven. I said, no, 7-Eleven. It's going to cost more than $1.
Yeah, why should I to like counter offer you some?
That's right. I'm like, I said, apple, fruit store, 80 cents. They said, okay. I know, right? I have to
give solution already, still want to propose.
Suggestion. I gave her option to give a suggestion first. Maybe I suggest, unless you have a better plan, then I go yours. If not, then you follow mine.
So did she manage to get caught again with the glasses lying around? Or somehow?
Not yet. Just started.
Okay. We shall monitor and see.
We shall monitor and see. Okay. Yeah.
So, but what is the likelihood? So if she discover it, and then the next day she will really go and buy you an apple?
So she has a knack of reminding me to get things done. So I will use back the same reminder. It's not considered a knack, just it's under a reminder. Reminder and knack is very different.
Okay, reminder.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. How about the other children? Were they like on your side, or were they side with her to help her along, or what?
No, they don't. They are quite independent. So
just
different. So each number one is a super networker. So she needs friends. So you need to let her have the space to go out. Number two is spend too much time studying. Like literally studying. You have to drag her out. Number three is very, very active.
Active in sports or active
in school, in sports. So, and also study. So number three, quite well balanced.
Okay.
Number four, just do homework.
Other than homework, no extra studying lah.
No, don't have.
Just no get supposed to be done only lah.
Yeah, whatever is supposed to be done. So yeah, the one cannot. If you ask her to do work, because remember the funnel is too loose really. You have to sit next to her and monitor. And I'm like, oh, this is a little bit beyond me at this juncture. Yep.
But out of the four, which one resembles you in terms of character, personality?
They get the worst and the best of me.
Which one? Like it's like, but it's like it's you lah. It's you that kind of thing.
Oh, maybe number 4, number 1, number 4. I think so. Yeah, number 4. Yeah, I'm also number 4, the 4th child. So you learn a lot from your siblings. You try to match up. You try to achieve, but you have not reached those milestones. So you have a lot of self-expectation. And then number 4 is also quite a, should I say, 贴心 to the mom, right? So a bit more, because the do's and the don'ts you see a lot, so they're a little bit more sensitive. Yeah. So yeah, I think in building communication, active listening is very important, because a lot of parents nowadays are working, and children may not feel that they have a safe space to share, and so social media is an outlet for them. I'm not saying my kids don't use social media as an outlet, they do, but I try to make it a point that I check in and then probe a few questions. Whatever they share, they can share, and embrace the good and the bad without having them feel judged.
But is there a concern that they may think that you are like spying onto my social media? Like I don't want to be friends with you on Facebook.
I mean, I don't think we are friends on Facebook.
Okay.
I think they're on IG. So they're quite active on IG apparently. Now they don't move to IG already. Now I think they have things like Telegram, Snapchat. So you can't even see anything. And I mean, the way they study, right? There's always someone on the computer in front of them.
Well, because
it's like group study lah. But then you have your screen. People are studying at the same time. So interesting, right? It's very different.
Yes. Because COVID also.
Probably COVID. So they are very engaged online.
But how has this COVID help or don't help them in terms of learning, home-based learning?
Okay, I think back in 2020, thankfully everybody had their own device. So they had their own space to learn. And how does it affect? I think, okay, to me, I think it does affect.
Well with the transitions, or because you say the first one was the quite active, must go out friends. Then with COVID cannot go out.
Yeah, quite. So we play mahjong. I teach them how to play mahjong.
That's the benefit of having more children.
Yeah, we play mahjong.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
So the siblings are her friends too lah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 can play mahjong. So I thought number 1, but now she's even better than I am.
Oh,
I know. So number 2 doesn't play as much. Number 3 is okay. Number 4 likes mahjong.
Very well trained already after this 1, 2.
Yeah. So can you imagine? Yeah. Good.
But the transition from going out to school and now not, but it's still personal space because 4 of them are all at home to study despite with the devices. But I think the sound,
So I'm not sure whether I shared this with you. So I took in coaching to understand personality. So part of it is when we understand them, we're able to help them spot their own blind spot. For example, if you want to achieve your goal and you discover that actually they're not very organized with time, but you cannot say that you're not organized with time. Does that make sense? So in the chart, it does show that the organizational is lower. They need to work more effort, right? And it also shows that maybe they are not very timely. So organization and time affects goal setting, right? You might have the ideas, but you need these two skill sets. And so with the scoring, it gives an objective view that there are areas that we can work on. Not that you can organize, not that you're not timely, areas that we can work on to improve. Yeah. And it can also share, for example, their own quality standard. They could be a very high quality. That means they want very high quality, like perfect work. But that would require them to put in hard work, effort. But the score will also show that they might prefer to take think of an easier way out, or a more effective way of doing things. But some things need hard work, like really check the paper 3 times. It's not something that the digital can help. So then from there, it gives them an understanding on what are the areas that they can work on to improve the achievement of goals. So stuff like that. And then as a parents, we can also understand how they function as whether they need friends, whether they're more sociable. So we are able to plan that for them. So why I do this is because I think I shared with you that after my husband passed on, he didn't really leave a manual on how to live life. And neither did my dad. So I had to figure a lot of things out. And so part of this, right, is very active effort to help my children know who they are themselves. Yeah. And I build upon them. So if there are skills that they can strengthen in, then shower a bit more effort over there. Areas that they need improvement on, then give them the support that they need, so that each can carry their own load. So that is what I'm doing. And so I use this to help my team as well. Yep.
So I suppose you have as in improve or better communications with them because of the profiling as well.
Definitely. Because before that was just gut feel. 你大概知道, but you're not exactly sure. But of course, this is not cast in stone. It changes every 2 years if you actively work on it. Okay. You be mindful about it. Yeah.
But would it in some way also force you to change, because much as how they want to be loved or to be cared for, but maybe that's not your strength, right? Would it,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
their fall and all are different.
They're different. So maybe they appeal more to being cared for rather than being told. Yeah. So number 1 is task-based. So if I tell her, can. Number 2, 3, 4, they like the caring style. Either do with them or get them someone else to do with. Yeah. They need.
But what if you don't have time? Yeah.
What if I don't have time?
Yeah. I mean, frankly with 4, then everybody wants your time at the same time. Then how to
take your number, put in your request, or do the governmental system. Submit request
this time also must submit request.
Yeah. Can you bring me to the bookshop? Yeah, Kinikunia, whatever. Okay, these 2 weeks.
But I suppose it forces you to be very effective and efficient in what you do.
Actually, yeah, I mean, I try to, but I don't say I'm very good at it. So I think today I actually posted on Facebook. It's okay not to be okay. Yeah. And can reach out for help. And sometimes I feel I need 8 hands to do something.
I suppose there are times whereby you bring all of them out and get all your various things done together, right?
Oh, thanks to Shopee. it solves a lot of problems, So it does. So those certain things, they like small things lah. Phone cover, Shopee can solve, There's certain things not everything, but they still want to go out, but they don't have as much time as they like to because their work is actually quite heavy. So we set aside maybe 1 meal a week, maximum 2 meals. So
right?
Minimum 1 to 2 weeks. Of course, more is better lah, but if cannot, then no choice.
Okay, I thank you for sharing all this, but what is that one tip you want to leave for parents to help or improve first?
Okay, so parents are okay. I guess respect your child as an individual. Don't force your dreams upon them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and help them help them to know what they don't know, and cheer them on because you're the best cheerleader that you can be for your kid. So don't dash that because you have a very important role in their life, to cheer them on in their life journey. Yeah, nobody can do it better than you actually, because you gave birth to them, rather you make them. So yeah, so enjoy your children.
Thank you very much for sharing. It's very interesting to really hear among the four of them and the different personality that they might have, and also with different age group as well. So that's why it makes it all the more challenging, but also fun right? Fun also in a way. Yeah, when they calling the mom also need to take queue number will be very but when you have four, have to take queue. So thank you for your sharing. Okay, let me just share screen again. As mentioned, okay, this is the Better You, Better Mom series. Our topics is always centering about self-care, couple, children, parenting, and family care. And of course, likewise, we still, after having children, we still want to enjoy family time, me time even. And also, of course, managing our little ones, irregardless of how old they are. Yeah, of course, it could be challenging or pulling hair like what Yannie has shared. But I think it is also a very enjoyable moment that when you look back, it is something you smile upon. Of course, the next month speaker will be Kong Chunyan. She will be sharing on her topic also. And likewise, of course, do help me with the sponsorship of Chinese translation for the first book. Actually, it's been out of print for quite a while. Yeah, you can always go on to this website, artoflifecircle.com/shop/sponsorship to make pay forward such that you can get a free book in return as well. And likewise, what's next? You can connect with me to chat with me, also to find out how we can work together, or even help you towards your own challenges that you might have in your life. Okay. Last but not least, of course, the journey of finding your rainbow after braving the storm is what truly makes our life meaningful. Yeah. Okay. I thank Yannie again for sharing. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Just let me stop the live screen share. Stop the live screen.